Okay, I figured I'd do something a little different tonight. I mean, I kind of wanted to have another reason to use my webcam, even though it probably is one of the shittiest setups on all of YouTube. So I recently saw a video where someone was opening Yu-Gi-Oh cards that were repacked and sold in the dollar store, and he got some pretty interesting pulls, like, but then again, how much is a Stardust Dragon these days? I mean, the game has changed so much I can't even keep up with it anymore. I mean, I stopped playing and I just look back at Yu-Gi-Oh from time to time, and I see that it's like a completely different game from what I was playing. Since then, I moved on to Magic the Gathering, and as such, it didn't take me long to figure out that there were Magic the Gathering repacks also being sold at Dollar Trees. And I'm wondering if the guys at Presstine are also behind repacking the Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So yes, recently they switched to selling 15 Magic cards at a time with one rare within the 15, kind of like a standard Magic the Gathering pack, except if you'd go to the Dollarama and buy these, you gotta pay tax, so it might come out to something like $1.75, and I bought 5 of these, so I'm going to guess that the total roughly comes out to like $9 and something. It's a little under 10, but it's definitely more than 9. You gotta pay tax. So I bought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm gonna open all of them on camera and see if this is actually worth it. But considering I have some really high-end cards in Magic the Gathering already, like if you saw my Leovold dual commander deck, you'd see a Liliana the Veil and a Jace the Mind Sculptor in there. I'm willing to bet that I'm never going to be doing this again. Now excuse me while I open up all of these repacks. Get the scissors and let's just do this. Sorry about that. That took almost all of 3 minutes just to find an ideal camera angle so I could set the cards down in front of the camera and just read them at the same time. Just see what these are and show them at the same time. So our first card, okay, these cards do date back a few years. This was from Journey and Nyx. This is definitely not standard legal anymore. Strength from the Fallen, that's one of our uncommons. I think there's 3 in each of these repacks and 1 rare, just like a standard Magic the Gathering pack these days. Okay, there's another uncommon. There's an Artisan's Sorrow, also from the Theros block. Destroy target artifact or enchantment, scry 2. I really don't think it's worth the 4 mana. Okay, that one's from Magic Origins. They put it in upside down. Oh, it's a Scab Goliath. I actually really like this card in Limited. Then again, Limited is a really creature-based format, so you can expect to have quite a few creature cards in the graveyard, and most of the time you're not going to get anything to be able to bring them back to your hand or onto the field, so exiling them is hardly even any sort of extra cost at all. You just need to play enough creatures, and you should be able to. And then you get a 6/9 with Trample for 6 mana. If you can get the 6 mana in Limited, which you usually do, then this is an absolute beast. In constructed formats, I can't really say the same for that. There are just so many other better cards out there. Oh, we got a Conspiracy Take the Crown card, Lieutenants of the Guard. I'll just keep going. If I read all these, we'll probably be here forever. A Map the Waste. We haven't seen a rare yet. This was from Fate Reforged, so everything I've shown you here it's not in standard. Okay, that's our rare. Okay, it wasn't standard a while ago, but Oath the Gatewatch. Only recently rotated out. Tyrant of Valakut. You have to pay 7 for it, but if you cast a spell or one of your teammates did, you can pay 5 and cast it. And, oh, interesting. The search cost was paid, deals 3 damage to target creature or player. I do wonder if anyone ever figured out how to make good use of this card in Standard. Not likely, but it's a pretty nice one. Wait, what? Oh, 4th uncommon. I thought we only had, like, let me count again. Okay, we have 4 uncommons, and this one's from Prophecy. Okay, this one's from the year 2000. Mana Vapors. I've never seen this one. Like, even in these repacks, I'll find a lot of cards that I probably haven't ever seen before. Mana Vapors is a 2-mana sorcery. Lands target player controls don't untap during their next untap step. Ooh, interesting. Wow, another uncommon! You may discard a planes from your hand instead of paying abolishes mana cost. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Interesting. Wow, another uncommon, a Confiscate. I mean, most of these are really not playable in most cases because there are just many strictly better options out there if you have like more of a budget. If you don't, then these cards can be really fun to look through. How many uncommons was that? I think that was like 6 in this one repack. I thought you only get 3 in each. I guess I was wrong about that. That's just a Terra Swarm. Ooh, an evasive action! The card isn't worth much, but it is pretty damn cool. I mean, I already got one of these in foil, but I'm generally happy to see this in the repack that I got for $1. Counter target spell unless its controller pays. Yeah, you can't play this in Modern. It's too old. They never reprinted it in the Modern legal set. But this is very much like Mana Leak if you have enough lands with different land types on them. I mean, generally you would want to do this if you want to play a bunch of different colors. Play fetch lands and shock lands and then just have all the basic land types out. And if you play 3 or more colors, you can get those land types out. This functions like a Mana Leak. Okay, there's a Guardian of Vitu-Ghazi. This costs a lot of mana. Even with the Convoke, I wouldn't play it. Oh wow, another uncommon. A Fallen Ideal. That I already have one of these. Druid's Deliverance. Fog plus Populate. And wow. I want to count the uncommons in this one again. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6, 7, 8 uncommons. I've never seen anything like this in one of these repacks, but I'll probably never play most of those. Except for the evasive action, but I already have one in foil that I got for like 75 cents. Let's go to the next one. Okay, an Altai. Was this card ever good in Standard? I mean, it had a lot of potential. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, this could happen like multiple times in a turn, but you gotta kill multiple creatures. But still, whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, this gets +2/+0 and gains first strike. I don't know how often you'll actually be able to make use of the haste trigger, but having a 4/1 first strike is pretty powerful in most cases. Considering the 4 damage is going to be dealt to the opposing creature before it gets a chance to strike the Bloodseeker. But then again, something on the opponent's side of the field has to die. But red cards typically have a lot of burn spells that let you do that, so it's pretty cool to see that. Another Conspiracy card, and Omens. Well, actually, this came from Theros block, but this was reprinted for the multiplayer draft-based Conspiracy to take the crown. Ghostly Possession, also one of the reprints from Conspiracy 2. Catacomb Slug. I will never play this, and I don't think any of you will play this either. Lose Calm. Okay, I think that's our rare, the Deathbringer Regent. I mean, it's a lot for us. I mean, 7 mana to play anything is a lot, really. You should be able to win the game by that point if you're playing competitively. In fact, even anything 5 mana or more should just be able to win you the game on the spot, or at least put you in such a good position that you're almost guaranteed to win. Like, say, Ad Nauseam can let you draw like 10 cards, if you don't mind losing whatever much life and you have a low mana curve, say. Rage Thrower. 6, I can't justify ever playing this. This is 6 mana for a 4/2. And you can't even hit creatures, but still, it's interesting nonetheless. Maybe someone could find a use for it, but probably not me. Coal Hauler Swine? Okay, we're going back to Ravnica again. Alright, there's another uncommon. I think that's gonna be... Wait. There's another uncommon. I think that might be all of them. The Heckling Fiends. Sorry if I can't read all of these. I'd be here for way too long if I did. Deathbellow Raider. Okay, back to Theros. Fire Fiend Elemental. This guy was pretty cool to play in Limited. I mean, he had haste, so you could attack right away, and if you could actually get through, you'll just get another 1/1 counter on it, so you'd have a 4/3 for a 4 mana. It's pretty nice, and getting to attack on the first turn you play it. And Shrouding Mist. And if it's renowned, untap the creature. The only creatures in all of Magic that have the renown ability are from Magic Origins, which of course this card is from. Raise the Alarm. I do wonder if tokens is even a viable option in Modern anymore. It could be, but I haven't really kept up with the meta that much. Okay, speaking of which, there's a Modern Masters 2017 card. Scourge Devil. And we're just gonna Weave Fate. 4 mana, instant, draw 2 cards. Nothing else to say here. I'm gonna go with the third repack. Spontaneous Artist. Truth is, actually, I've already opened up 2 of these, so I know what to expect from this one and the one before. Feral Invocation. Okay, a lot of Theros cards. I was pretty surprised to see these flip cards only ever appeared in the Kamigawa block, so there are not a lot of them, and I was just surprised to see one of them, even though I don't know how I'd ever make use of this. You have a 1/1 that somehow has to do damage stuff to some other creature and have it be put into a graveyard, but there are ways to do it. And then what you do get is a double strike Bushido 2 Samurai. Yeah, I'll have to explain what Bushido 2 is. If this is blocked, it gets an extra +2/+2. Because Bushido never appeared anywhere else outside of Kamigawa. Oppressive Rays. This is like pacifism, but it's a bit different. I'm gonna move on. And they put basic lands in the repacks. Forest. It's about as simple and plain as it gets. Okay, Battle for Zendikar card. Calastria Healer. Vampire Cleric Ally. Rally. Whenever this enters the battlefield or another ally, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Maybe someone will play an ally deck, but probably not me. Vigilante Justice. Whenever a human enters the battlefield under your control, Vigilante Justice deals 1 damage to target creature or player. This is kind of an interesting uncommon. It's still definitely a bulk uncommon, but it's pretty interesting to see. Gore Swine. A vanilla 4/1 for 3 mana. I can't say anything else, and I think that's our rare. One of which I already have. I already have a Fated Intervention. I don't really need another one, considering I never used the other one to begin with. Yeah, this was a whole cycle in Born of the Gods, and I think only Fated Conflagration really saw some play. None of the other ones did, I don't think. I mean, Fated Return, the black one, costs like 7 mana to bring a creature back from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control, or something like that. That's like way too much for 7 mana. This just makes 2 3/3 green centaurs. And of course, with all these Fated rares, if you play them during your turn, you can play them during opponents since they're instant, but if you play them during your own turn, you can scry. 1 or 2, I don't know if it's like, I think it might have been scry 2 for all the cards, but I'm not sure. Oh, Master the Way. Nice little uncommon from the prevalently multicolored Tarkir block. Well, especially the first set. But then we went back in time, then the dragons took over Tarkir. Oh, Giant Growth. One of the classics. Oh wow, we got a card from Homelands. I'm glad I wasn't playing when Homelands was a thing, because those cards for the most part sucked, and creatures for the most part have been getting much better these days. So yes, this Falcon sucks. You get a 1/1 flyer for 2 that you have to pay 2 mana if you want to give it +0/+1 until end of turn. You'll see 1/3 flyers for 2 mana at common rarity in the most recent sets, and even then they probably don't see a lot of play. Dund Operative. And yes, this was actually a really nice card to play in Kaladesh Limited. I don't know about Constructed though, I doubt it. Spring Sage Ritual. You gotta pay extra for some life, not something I'd play. And Untamed Hunger. I just want to speed this up. Let's go through the 4th pack. A Fleeting Distraction. I don't know how often this will actually work out for whoever's playing it, so... Okay, there's one of the colorless Eldrazi cards, because these were pretty freaking cool. Slate Street Ruffian. Alright, here's an uncommon. Drawskull Shieldmate from, well, Eldritch Moon. We have quite a mix in here. Most of these cards aren't even standard legal anymore. But this is still quite an issue. I mean, if you're new to Magic and you just play casually and don't really care what format you play, these can be pretty fun to open up nonetheless. You get to see a lot of different kind of cards in these. Another basic land. Swamp. Aeronaut Tinkerer. 2/3 for 3 that has flying as long as you control an artifact. I've hardly seen any artifacts in here at all. Stentia Innkeeper. And then we have a card from Apocalypse right behind it. Savage Gorilla. So 5 mana 3/3 that you pay 2, a blue and a black, and this thing is green, so you gotta be running 3 colors to sacrifice this thing to give something else a -3/-3 until end of turn and draw a card. Yeah, it's kind of a stretch. I don't know what else to say. Okay, there's our rare for this repack, Emrakul's Evangel. And no, I don't think it's worth playing. Oh wow, the most recent card I've seen in these repacks probably has to be this. Well, there's a card from Hour of Devastation, Crash Through. Seismic Stomp. Thriving Grubs. We're going all over the place here. Ooh, High Spire Mantis. Flying Trample for 4 mana on a 3/3. 2 colors. I mean, I would definitely play this card in Limited just because it flies. Constructed, still, there's definitely better things you can find, but at the uncommon rarity, this ain't too bad. Celestial Flare. Neat little card that makes them sacrifice an attacking or blocking creature. This could actually really work out for you, depending on how they attack and what they have to attack with. And the Terrarian. That's just a mana fixer. One of the few ways you can fix mana in Eldritch Moon. So really, you didn't want to play more than 2 colors in that format at all. Okay, an Auriok replica from the Scars of Mirrodin block. Sacrifice this, pay 1. Prevent all damage a source your choice would deal to you this turn. Oof. Formless Nurturing. Okay, that's one of the Manifest cards. This was pretty awesome. Inventor's Goggles. Okay, there's an artifact. Equipped creature gets +1/+2 whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control. Put the goggles on it. I don't know how the goggles give you like 2+ toughness. They're literally just. But then again, I think these are magical. Game's called Magic the Gathering. Oh, a Court Homunculus. Then again, I don't know if this actually sees me playing Modern, even though it was reprinted in a Modern Masters set. Then again, I'm pretty sure most of the rares I opened up out of Modern Masters packs don't actually get played in Modern, but they're just there to prevent the sets from becoming too expensive. I mean, your rares can't all be Lilianas or Blood Moons or Tarmogoyfs. Wing Puncture. Okay, so green has had a lot of cards that just kill creatures with flying over the years, and it's still a theme today, really. A swamp. A Krark Clan Shaman, or Shaman, however you prefer saying it. Sacrifice an artifact. If you sacrifice an artifact, unless you've given this thing extra toughness or protection from itself, or red, whatever, he'll kill himself, but he'll do 1 damage to each other creature. No, each creature without flying. Yes, that does include hitting himself for 1, which would kill him in most cases. Why is this in my repack? Oh, probably because I only spent $1.50 on it. Oblivion Strike. Oh, exile target creature. For 4 mana and it's colorless. I mean, I was pretty excited to see this because it's colorless, and sometimes you just need an answer to creatures that have protection from black and whatnot. A Woe Bearer. Oh, back when fear was a thing. And of course, back when it didn't have reminder text. Back when fear was actually printed on Magic cards. Now they just moved away from that. And then they moved away from Intimidate once we had a block full of Morphs and Manifests, and then right after that a block full of colorless Eldrazi. Fear is essentially like, this can't be blocked except by artifact creatures or other black creatures. And whenever this deals combat damage to a player, you may return target creature card from your graveyard. Interesting, uncommon there. And I think we just hit our rare, Necropolis Fiend. This is one of the cards with Delve, but considering it's just a 4/5 flyer, it starts at 9 mana, so I can't even justify playing it. Even though you could play it for as little as 2 mana, since you can reduce the generic mana portion cost all the way to 0 if you had 7 cards in your graveyard to exile. I still wouldn't be able to justify really playing this. There are better choices as far as Delve is concerned. Stratus Walk. Bogart Brute. If you like goblins, there's some. Skitter of Lizards. A Fortify. Hidden Strings. This was a neat little card despite it being from Dragon's Maze. Dragon's Maze was overall not a great set, but it did have a few good cards in it. I mean, this was one I remember, but I still never played. And a Revoke Existence. So I'm just going to pull out my favorite cards that I've seen in this set of 75 cards here. I mean, this one was okay, I guess. I mean, you could definitely use this in a deck or two if you're playing casually, you don't have access to many other cards. You could opt to play this one. Exiling an artifact or an enchantment, even if it's at sorcery speed for 2 mana, is not too bad. That's playable. I never quite figured out how to make this one work, but it looked pretty cool. This says 5 mana, so I don't think I'll ever play it in anything, but it was a pretty interesting card nonetheless. That you could probably get multiple creature cards back, but you have a pretty weak creature for what you're paying for your 5 mana, and of course it could easily be removed, and your 5 mana just goes to waste. An Oblivion Strike. 4 mana to kill something's a lot, but actually not really if you're playing limited, that is. A Core Homunculus. These are the cards just kind of like made me say, hey, this is cool. Celestial Flare, because it's pretty useful. This, because it has a bunch of mana symbols on it, but I don't think you can actually make good use of it. I'm sorry, Gorilla. Raise the Alarm, because maybe people still play token decks. If they do, then this is a pretty good card to have. You're paying 2 mana to get 2 1/1s, and of course cards like Intangible Virtue exist, so that just makes the token decks a lot better, but I'm pretty sure those also run Lingering Souls. An Altac Bloodseeker. And of course, there was the repack that actually had 8 uncommons in it. I thought I was only ever going to see 3 in each, but I saw a grand total of 8, including some pretty awesome ones. Like, I was generally surprised to see, like, most of those. So I'll just set aside all the other uncommons that didn't really stand out that much to me, but they were there. And then I'll set aside the rares, and just lay those out. And then that'll be the end of this video. I mean, if you've been playing Magic for as long as I have and already accumulated a huge collection of cards, then I would definitely not buy these. You'll probably most likely already have much better options available to you than what you'll pull out of dollar store repacks, but these are pretty fun to open up nonetheless, because there is a huge variety in the cards that you can open up here. I even got a card from Homelands. Granted, it was Homelands, but it's still pretty interesting to see a card that old in one of these. So it turns out they still have quite a variety in these repacks, and I thought they pretty much, like... And I thought that pretty much stopped when, like, half the cards in a batch of repacks I bought were actually from either Dragon's Maze or M14 or something like that. Yeah, that was kind of unfortunate, because Dragon's Maze was overall not a great set. So I got 8 uncommons in one of these repacks, which 8 of the 15 cards being uncommon is pretty unusual to see, because I'm usually used to seeing 3 in each pack. And then of course our 5 rares. None of which I can really justify playing, but they're not too bad. So the fact that I actually spent less than $10 to get all of these cards It's kind of worth it for someone who's just playing casually or starting out. Maybe you could even do a limited draft with these, and who knows what'll happen. But I'm probably never going to be buying them again because my collection is already huge and there are so many good cards in there already that I don't think I'll be spending any more money on this. So, sorry if you were interested in maybe seeing me open more of these, it's not likely ever going to happen.